So there are these specific fears that you can't white knuckle around. You have to surrender to them. You have to expose yourself to them. And that's why exposure is part of the ways, part of the main components of recovering from anxiety. Do you know white knuckling? White knuckling is you trying to, you don't want to address the main issue. You are going around it. That's white knuckling. For those who don't understand the term white knuckling, you are going around it. You don't want to go through it. That's white knuckling. So for example, these fears are fears of, like, if you fear to fly, you fear being in an aeroplane, you fear driving, you fear being in a gathering, you fear being in a restaurant, being in a mall. Those kind of fears you can't white knuckle around. You can't say that you are there, you're going to stand on the road, then you watch someone driving, then you say I can drive. You're not going to watch people get to the plane, then you say, you know what, you try and convince your brain. The brain does not learn through logic. The brain does not learn through facts. The brain learns through your action, whatever you are doing. That's what it will, screenshot and store in the subconscious part of the brain. So you can't white knuckle around these fears, and most of you try and seek reassurance about them. How can I be in a plane? I'm always afraid of being in a plane. You just gotta go into that plane with the way you're feeling. Do it fearful. I can't drive. Get into that car and drive. You can start small. You don't have to go onto busy super highways. You can start just by driving around your house, around places that are not so much scary. You start small. If you're afraid of going to public spaces, you can start with going with a safe person. Then after a while you'll develop, you'll have the courage of being in these places alone. So it's like someone who wants to know how to swim, but they don't want to get into the water. They don't want to splash water around. It will feel like you're drowning. These are parts of knowing how to swim. So the same as fear of driving, the same as fear of flying, the same as fear of being in public spaces, you have to go to these places. That's when you'll show your brain that you are really not afraid of these places, and it will stop sending false alarms. You can't white knuckle around these fears. You have to go through them.